Femi stood dumbfounded in the drizzling rain, watching his mother cry over the grave. He couldn't quite understand the depth of what was going on at the moment, but he could tell for sure that it was something painful. Femi was the only son of his mother Bimbo. He had lost his father to the cold hands of death when he was just 9 years old, and was only left with his mother and younger sister Simi, who was 4 years old. It was a terrible time for the family, as his mother Bimbo couldn't help it. She was always sad and wept non-stop because she missed her husband so much. They both had a very strong bond as a couple that many villagers admired, for they were usually seen always together, gisting and laughing, or visiting friends together. And now, the death of Femi's father has shattered his mother Bimbo and truly took a toll on her for a very long time. As the months passed, the reality of his father's death dawned on him that he had lost his childhood, and he had to find a way to help his mother and sister. He knew that he had to become a man very quickly and fill the space that his father had left. So Femi began to hire himself out as a laborer from one farm to the other, but his strength couldn't carry him to do much on the farms. So he decided to go to the busy market and watch out for anyone who might need help to carry loads. Using his father's old wheelbarrow, Femi will carry load for different people in the market, and after which he gets paid. He would toil all day under the hot sun, but didn't make much money. But sometimes a few people had been kind to him and would gift him some foodstuff. Femi would joyfully rush home and give them to his mother, including the little money he had made for the day. His mother would be so happy, dancing and praising him. Bimbo was managing a small vegetable business. Some days she would come back from the market without making much sales, and some other days she would end up using the vegetables for the general consumption in the house. Femi faced different challenges and struggles at the busy market, which continued for days, weeks, and even months. He wasn't finding it easy, as it now seemed to be that he was his mother and sister's only hope of survival. His mother continued to motivate and encourage him that one day things would get better. Femi soon grew to become a kind and loving person that cared so much about his mother and younger sister Simi. The smiles on their faces and the appreciative words he receives each time he provides the money he made gives him joy and strength to keep trying harder. Then one day, Femi saw a young woman named Tenny. She was well dressed. She looked like a stranger, and it seemed to be like it was her first time arriving the village. The woman just got off a taxi and she stood at the bus stop with her 3 big bags, wondering how she would carry the bags and cross to the other side of the road. Femi noticed her. He picked up his wheelbarrow and rushed to attend to her. But unfortunately, another young man who also carried load for people like he does ran faster than him to the place where the woman stood and quickly started carrying all her bags. When he was done, he billed the woman 3 times of the usual amount. The woman didn't mind. She agreed and checked her bag. But unfortunately, she noticed she didn't have any cash in her purse at that moment. The young man started shouting and creating a scene. The woman pleaded with him, but he wouldn't listen, and he started to insult her. But she pleaded again with him, and then she offered him her business card. But the young man got even more annoyed and frowned his face. "Madam, what is the meaning of this? Abeg, give me my money, Joe. What is my business with that card you're giving me? Is it going to put food on my table?" The man said angrily, and he grabbed the card and threw it away. Femi, who had been observing from a distance, moved to the scene. The woman explained everything to him, and Femi gave the young man the little money he had made, just for peace to reign. The woman was glad and as well surprised that someone who didn't have much like Femi would do such a thing. She picked up the card and gave it to Femi. "Thank you so much, kind man. My name is Tenny. What is your name?" she asked. "My name is Femi," he responded. "Here, you can have my business card and reach out to me whenever you're free," Tenny said as she handed Femi the card. Femi collected it, even though he wasn't sure about the contents of the card. That day, when he returned home, he gave his mother the little money he made. It was smaller than what he usually brings home. He explained everything that happened at the market to his mother, and he showed her the card. Bimbo was a bit disappointed at her son Femi. "But Femi, you know how much we need the money, and how things has been a bit challenging for us. I haven't gone for my vegetable business for more than a week now, and your sister and I have solely depended on the money you bring home." "Why would you even do that?" Bimbo said with a sad look on her face. "But Mama, you always told me to be kind. I know we need the money, but I just felt like to help that woman," Femi said with a faint smile as he handed the card to his mother. Bimbo wasn't happy about what Femi did, and she shunned him to keep the card away. Life continued, so did their struggle. Then one afternoon, Femi's younger sister Simi saw the card on the table in the room. She took it and was looking at it, even though she couldn't read the contents of the card. Bimbo called out to her from the kitchen to come assist her, but Simi got carried away as she kept staring at the card and didn't hear her mother's call. After a while, Bimbo rushed into the room to be sure that Simi was okay, since she didn't answer her. Seeing her, she shouted, "Simi, what is going on? I've been calling you, but you're not answering." Simi placed her hands behind her, trying to hide the card from Bimbo. "What are you hiding, Simi?" she asked, but no response. Bimbo went over and grabbed her hands. Then she noticed the piece of card. Bimbo took the card and read through the contents. Then she realized that her son Femi might be up for a better opportunity, as the lady, Tenny, happens to be the manager of a big company. That evening, when Femi returned from his usual hustle, Bimbo spoke to him about it, and they called the number on the card. Unfortunately, no response. The next day, they kept trying. Still, no response. 1 week passed, 2 weeks, still no response. Bimbo lost hope and felt it was not a genuine contact after all. Then one Friday morning, Simi was playing a game on the phone, and somehow she dialed the number and the woman picked. She rushed and gave the phone to her mother. Bimbo spoke with her. She introduced herself as Femi's mother, the young man who had helped her a few months back to pay for her load. Tenny responded, Oh, Femi, the kind young man. You are his mother. Oh, nice. Can I speak with Femi?" Bimbo called her to Femi, who just finished having his bath and was already preparing for another hustle of the day. He rushed in. Bimbo put the phone on speaker. Femi exchanged pleasantries with Tenny, and she invited him to come see her at her office. Tenny sent him a description on how to locate her office. Femi's mother was glad. She felt positive that this could be an opportunity for things to turn around for the better. The next day, Femi dressed up in one of his best outfits. His mother and sister wished him good luck as he stepped out. The description Tenny gave him was clear, so he was able to easily locate her office and arrived there on time. He walked into the reception, introduced himself, and informed the receptionist that he was here to see Tenny. The receptionist told him to wait for a while. Then few minutes later, he was invited to go see Tenny in her office. Tenny was glad to see him, and she welcomed him warmly. They had an in-depth introduction and discussion, then after which Tenny offered Femi a job in her husband's company. Her husband happens to be a mechanical engineer. "You can resume whenever you are ready," she told him. Femi was so excited and thanked her. Femi got home that afternoon so excited, and he informed his mother and sister about it. They were so happy for him. The next day, he resumed work at Tenny's husband's company called Modern Mech Technologies. Tenny's husband, Mr. Wale, welcomed Femi and offered him to work in the maintenance and repair unit, since he wasn't educated and they needed someone who is hardworking and willing to learn. He worked as an assistant to the head of department so that he can gradually learn the business. Femi was grateful that at least he was out of the streets and would now earn monthly salary, which is better than what he usually got running around carrying load for people in the market. Femi made up his mind to use the opportunity wisely. On that fateful day when he resumed work, he saw another young man just about his age. His name is Bayo. Bayo is the first son of Mr. Wale. He works in his father's company, Modern Mech Technologies, as a manager, but he is usually seen in the maintenance and repairs department. Even as a manager, Bayo was humble and flowed well with all the workers in the company. The head of department introduced Bayo to Femi. Femi was happy at how nicely Bayo welcomed him and told him to feel free to come to him for anything he needs. Femi was so happy. He made sure to be very observant when any repairs was ongoing, and he also asked questions if he didn't understand anything. In a short while, Bayo and Femi became close as they seemed to share a similar kind of energy and bond. Their closeness became like that of two brothers. The head of department saw how hardworking and polite Femi is, so he decided to teach him how to drive. Femi learned it very fast as Bayo allowed him to use his car and also guided him. Soon, he became an expert. Mr. Wale and Tenny were proud of Femi, same with his mother Bimbo, who was also very happy that his son was making a huge progress and doing well for himself and the family. Femi soon got promoted as a full staff after he had studied and went to a part-time school about the business. He started earning enough money that covered for their feeding and was also enough to send his sister Simi to school. He not only received his monthly salary, but got gift items from kind clients. Femi worked in Modern Mech Technologies for 5 years. He grew into a hardworking and responsible young man who now understood the business very well. His friendship with Bayo continued to flourish. Soon, Femi rented his own apartment and started living as a bachelor. Then one day, Femi followed Bayo for a birthday party. At the party, he saw a young, beautiful woman named Folake. Femi couldn't take his eyes off Folake as she looked so beautiful and gorgeous. He signaled to Bayo, who told him not to go after her, that Folake is not a good person. She would only stay with you as long as you have money. Femi, we once lived in the same neighborhood, and I can tell you for sure that this girl Folake is bad news, Bayo told him. But Femi couldn't help himself. As he had already fallen in love, immediately he set his eyes on Folake, and he vowed in his heart that he will make her his woman. So he went ahead and approached her. "Hello dear, how are you doing? My name is Femi. You look so gorgeous, and I couldn't take my eyes off you, so I had to come over. Please, what's your name?" Femi asked, smiling. "My name is Folake. Are you a friend to Bayo?" she asked. Femi nodded. Folake smiled because she knows Bayo is from a wealthy home, as they once lived in the same neighborhood. In her mind, Folake concluded that any friend to Bayo would be doing well financially. She stared at Femi from head to toe, smiled and said, "You look good, and I'm sure that you're a very nice guy. I believe you must be a very hardworking man too. This is my contact." Folake collected Femi's phone and quickly punched her phone number. Femi was so happy. They both continued to gist and laugh. After that day, they started seeing each other more often. Femi welcomed her to his apartment and they would spend time together, laughing and playing indoor games. Sometimes they would go outing together and take a stroll down the street. Femi got so fond of Folake, and in less than a month, he felt he shouldn't waste any more time in marrying her. He invited her over to meet his mother, so he could properly introduce her as the woman he wants to marry. Immediately Folake entered the house and saw Femi's mother. She quickly went to hug her. "Good evening, Mama. You look so beautiful and healthy. How are you doing today?" she asked, smiling. Bimbo held her and welcomed her warmly. "I'm fine, my daughter. You're welcome," she said. Simi, Femi's younger sister, who has grown into a beautiful young lady, also came to welcome her. Folake hugged her too. Femi stood looking at how warmly his mother and sister had welcomed Folake. He smiled and grinned from ear to ear as he felt that Folake had already started blending so well with his mother and sister. That day, Folake went to the kitchen, cooked and washed all the plates, even when Femi's mother tried to stop her. She also took a broom and swept the house even when it was not dirty. She also started dusting and cleaning everywhere. She treated Bimbo and Simi as though they were her own family. Folake kept on looking for what to do when there was indeed nothing to do. She went ahead to ask Femi's mother to give her some of her dirty clothes to wash, but Bimbo said she had none. Folake was trying so hard to impress Femi and his mother, and it worked. Femi got so impressed and became more convinced that Folake was a pure wife material. However, his mother Bimbo wasn't convinced or impressed. Later that evening, Femi took Folake home. When he came back, he saw that his mother was patiently waiting for him in the living room. "What do you think about her, Mama?" Femi asked, looking excited as he walked to sit close to his mother. "Femi, my son, there is something totally off about her. I don't like her. I feel she's pretending," Bimbo said. "Ah, Mama, what do you mean by that? Folake is very nice and humble. See how she served you and took care of the house," Femi said, frowning. "My son, I am your mother, and I've been in this world before you were born. A person can really pretend to the end until they get what they want. My spirit tells me strongly that Folake is not someone you should marry as a wife," his mother said. Femi wore a sad face and responded, "Mama, but I love her. I can't imagine my life without her." "Femi, my son, what an elder sees sitting down, a child cannot see, even though he climbs the tallest Iroko tree. I have said my piece. She is not a good woman. But then, it is your choice to make," Bimbo responded. Femi went to bed that night sad, but he still feels that he must marry Folake. A few days later, he went to visit his friend Bayo and informed him about his intention of marrying Folake. Bayo advised him, "Femi, my friend, please don't rush to marry Folake. Like I told you before, Folake and I once grew up in the same neighborhood. She is just after your money. Take your time and observe her at least before you marry her," he said. Femi got a bit offended and felt that Bayo was jealous of him since he was getting married before him. So he didn't listen and went ahead with the marriage plans. Femi furnished the house where his mother and sister stayed and the room where he intended staying with his wife-to-be, Folake. He felt it's best to be close to his mother after learning about her developing ill health, and his lovely wife Folake would help him in taking care of his mother too. A month later, Femi got married to Folake and they were so happy. However, his mother Bimbo and his sister Simi were not happy. Even his friend Bayo was not happy as well. They all knew that Femi had made a very big mistake, but he seemed to care less. Few weeks after they got married, Folake began to show her true colors. In the morning, she would wake up early and prepare a little food with a big pot that would satisfy just herself and her husband Femi. She would dish Femi's food and her own, leaving the big pot empty in the kitchen, just in a way to create an expression that she had cooked for everyone. Some other days, if Folake cooked more food, she would transfer all the remaining food from the pot into a cooler and kept it in her room, making sure that nothing was left for her mother-in-law Bimbo or her sister-in-law Simi to eat. Folake only swept and cleaned the bedroom she shared with her husband. She did not bother to sweep any other part of the house or even wash the pots and plates she used in serving her husband. She would not even bother helping her mother-in-law with anything in the house. Instead, she would stay in bed all day, sleeping or standing in front of the mirror, admiring her beauty. Folake used to be a tailor before she got married to Femi, but after the marriage, she stopped going to her tailor shop and even sold her machine. She convinced herself that there was no need to work because her husband Femi earned enough money to take care of her. Femi wasn't happy about it. He tried to encourage Folake to continue with her tailoring business, as it is not good to be idle. Folake would get upset with him and would stop sleeping with him for days until he begged her. Soon, Femi stopped disturbing her about going back to work. So every day, as Femi left for work and his mother went to the market with his sister to sell vegetables, Folake will remain at home, either eating or sleeping or pressing her phone or laughing and whiling away her time. And in the evening, she will cook food that only her and her husband will eat. She will not bother keeping any food for her mother-in-law and sister-in-law. Bimbo had observed Folake's behavior for a while. She was not surprised at all because she knew from the beginning that Folake was a pretender. So she called her the next day in the morning when Femi had already left for work to speak with her like mother to daughter. Folake, I'd like to have a word with you. Please come sit down. Folake sat down, wondering what Bimbo has to say to her. My daughter Folake, I've been noticing how you have been behaving these past few weeks. You do not help in the house like you used to before my son married you. You cook food and hide food, and you serve only yourself and your husband. You do not go to work any longer. All this attitude are not good for you. Please, my daughter, change, Bimbo said gently. Hey, Mama, this is my husband's house, and I do not disrespect you. After all, you do not want your son to marry me in the first place. He told me about it. You think I don't know, Abi? You will not tell me how to behave in my husband's house, let alone what to do. Please, just let me be. I am not your maid to be cooking food for you and your daughter. As for my shop, my husband is not complaining, and I don't want to stress myself. I just need to stay at home, look good, and reserve my energy for childbearing. So Mama, please, I beg you in the name of God, mind your business, Folake said rudely to Bimbo and walked away. Bimbo was shocked. She knew for sure that Folake was a pretender, but she never knew she was rude too. So from that day, Folake became even more aggressive towards her. She would see her in the morning and pass without greeting her. Then one day, Bimbo could not take it anymore. She called her son Femi into her room and reported all that his wife does in his absence. Femi, my son, I told you that this girl you married is a pretender, but you would not listen. She disrespects me. Whenever you are not around, she cooks food and hides food. If not for the money I earn from selling vegetables, I and your sister will starve to death. She does not sweep or do anything in this house, yet she stays at home all day, Bimbo said, worried. Mama, I know I'm not always around, but my wife loves you very much. She loves my sister too. She's not capable of doing all these things you said. I know you never liked her, but it is not enough to say such things about her. Please, Mama, please find a way and accommodate her. See her and treat her like your own daughter, just like Simi, Femi said, pleading. Bimbo was very shocked at her son's response. Mogbe, I'm in trouble. This Folake girl has bewitched my son. How can my own son think that I'm lying to him against his wife? Bimbo said, looking sad and worried. In the days that followed, Folake started demanding for money from her husband very often. She would request for money from Femi and end up buying things that she doesn't need. Whenever Femi refused to give her money, she would not allow him to touch her at night. It gradually became a habit and Femi soon got pissed. Then one day, he was at work, lost in thoughts, when his friend Bayo observed his mood. What is going on, bro? He asked. I don't know if I made a mistake in marriage. Can you imagine that my wife Folake does not allow me to touch her unless I give her money? I have to literally pay her before she sleeps with me every night. If I don't, she will not sleep with me at all. And I have tried talking to her to go back to work, but she would get angry each time I bring up that subject. Now, my mother complained to me that she has been disrespecting her and treats her and my sister badly whenever I'm not around. Honestly, man, I'm so confused. I really love Folake, but I don't understand her sudden change in behavior these days, Femi said, looking sad. Femo, my guy. But remember I told you that she's not good for you. I told you that she was just after your money, but you never listened. Now you are gradually seeing things for yourself. But my guy, if you continue this way, you will lose it all and move back to square one. But not to worry, my guy Femo. I think I have an idea that might help you. Let us test your wife to see if she really loves you or not. I will give you a sack later. and you pretend that you just lost your job. And then you can park your car in my father's compound and also pretend like it was stolen as well. After that, you will stay at home for a few days and let us see if her attitude towards you would change, Bayo suggested. Femi agreed, and immediately they both went on with the plan to test Folake. Bayo informed his parents that evening. So after a few days, Bayo gave Femi a fake sack letter. That day, Femi returned home crying and wailing. From the entrance, he placed his hand on his head and started shouting, "I am finished though! Just like that, they have sacked me. And on top of it all, my car was stolen. Where do I start from now? Jesu!" Femi said, crying. Bimbo and Simi ran out, asking him what the matter was, and comforted him. Folake too came out and comforted him, but she was not happy about the news at all. After a few days, she started misbehaving towards Femi. She got tired of seeing him at home every day, and so she began to speak harshly and rudely to him. Bimbo ensured that there was food in the house, but Folake was fed up with everything. Whenever Femi tried to touch her at night, she would shout at him, "You lazy man, don't touch me! How can you still be having an erection in your poverty-stricken state? Please don't touch me at all before I get angry with you. I don't want you to transfer your poverty to me." Femi was shocked. He clearly can tell that indeed his mother was not lying. He saw how Folake would not help at home, how she spoke rudely to him and to his mother and sister as well, and how she had suddenly turned bitter. Truly, my mother was right. Folake is really a pretender, Femi thought within him. 2 weeks later, Femi saw Folake packing her luggages. "Babe, where are you going to this early morning?" Femi asked, looking worried. "What does it look like I'm doing to you? I am leaving you. You have lost your job, and you have nothing again to offer me as a husband. I can no longer stay in this poverty-stricken home with you. I'm not cut out for suffering. I'm leaving for good. Initially, I thought I was married to a wealthy man, but apparently, it's now the opposite," Folake lamented. Femi became too dumbfounded to say a word. He watched Folake carry her luggages and left the house. Later that day, Femi apologized to his mother for not listening to her warning about Folake. He also went to see Bayo, his friend, and thanked him for giving him the idea to test his wife. "Bayo, I remembered you warned me against Folake, but I didn't listen to you. Now I have seen it all. Just imagine that I had truly lost my job. So this is how Folake would have left me. Ah! Thank you so much, Bayo," Femi said and shook his head. "It's okay, my friend Femi. That's what brothers do for brothers," Bayo said. That night, Femi came back home with lots of gifts for his mother and sister. He explained everything to his mother and how he was only testing his wife to see if she truly loved him. And obviously, she had failed woefully and showed her true colors. "Ah, Mama, thank you for your patience and unconditional love. From this day forward, I will take very good care of you and Simi. I promise that no one would ever come in between us again," Femi said to his mother. Bimbo was so happy. She blessed her son and his friend Bayo for suggesting the test idea on Folake. That night, they all ate, drank, and were happy. A few months later, Femi located where Folake stayed. He went to see her with his car. Folake heard the sound of a car in the compound where she was. She looked outside through the window and recognized that that car looked so much like Femi's car, which she said was stolen. When she opened the door, she saw that it was Femi at the door. She was shocked. Femi looked good, just like when they first met. He smiled and immediately handed Folake divorce papers. Folake refused to sign it, claiming that she was pregnant for him already. Bayo, who had went with Femi, signaled to him that he shouldn't fall for what Folake just said, because she might be lying. Femi could figure out that Folake was lying because it's been almost a year that Folake left him. So he went on and insisted that Folake should sign the divorce papers. Still, she refused. Femi called in the police officer and his lawyer who were in the car. They came into the house, so Folake had no choice but to sign the divorce paper. And so their marriage was formally dissolved, and Folake lived all her life forever in regrets. Thank you for watching the video to the end. Give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts on what you think are the morals of the story. Kindly subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. See you in our next video.